Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I am going to be sharing the three conditions the VA has added to their PACT Act presumptive list. Also, I'm going to be sharing with you, as a former VA rating specialist, the number one thing veterans need to do before submitting their claim for the PACT Act. Okay, everyone. So today's video, I'm going to be sharing three conditions slash diagnoses that the VA has added to the PACT Act presumptive list. Also, I'm going to be sharing with you the number one thing I feel, me as a former VA rating specialist trained by the Department of Veterans Affairs, that every veteran should be doing before they submit that claim for the PACT Act for any presumptive condition that is on this list. Okay, it is imperative. I adjudicated hundreds of presumptive claims, and not all veterans did this, but I'm going to share it today so you know. All right, so I went out to the VA's website. They are adding a ton of information on their website. Okay, I'm going to make sure I put the link to what I'm going to share with you today in the description section of this video. Okay, so let me go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so this is the VA's website. Okay, and it states VA extends presumptions of service connection for three cancer types. Okay, this was released on June 14th. And like I said before, the VA, I think, in this area, okay, sharing information as it pertains to these updates, they're doing a good job on their website. Okay, so it states, excuse me, watch today the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is including three new cancer types in the list of presumed service-connected disabilities due to military environmental exposure under the PACT Act. Okay, it goes on to state, through regulatory policy letter published to the Federal Register, the following three cancer types have been included in the presumptive disease. Here are the three. Okay, urethral cancer, male breast cancer, and then cancer of the pituitary glands. Okay, so make sure, if you have a diagnosis of these three and you meet the other qualifications under the PACT Act, okay, you're entitled to these benefits. All right. Now, again, in my opinion, presumptive conditions are really easy. Why? Because you got to have a diagnosis. Two, you have to be in that location. Three, during that particular time frame. All right. That's it. Okay. Now, it goes on to state this policy establishes presumptions of service connection for eligible Gulf War and post 9/11 veterans who deployed to Afghanistan, Somalia. Okay. Now, it says here, here's a link, Southwest Asia Theater Operations. Once I go through this slide, I am going to show you another slide with all those locations. Okay. Because a lot of veterans, they'll say, Dwayne, oh, I served here. Well, I served there. And I'm like, is it on the list? I don't know. But you have to confirm that, because if it's not on the list, guess what? You don't qualify. Okay. There's another paragraph. We are working with urgency to deliver on the promise of the PACT Act to provide health care and benefits to any toxic exposed veterans as possible. Okay. And I did a video about the healthcare side. Even though I never worked on it, I just did the video to educate vets and their family members of what they could be entitled to. Okay. Also, it says any veteran who is currently, has, or previously had one of the listed cancers at any time during military service or after separation, okay, or after separation, may be entitled, in that word, okay, I know a lot of people missed it, but what does it say? May, okay, may. Doesn't say you will, it says may be entitled to disability compensation benefits dated back to August 10th, 2022. Now, they said May. All right. So, depending on if you had an intent to file in, if you turn around and do a supplemental claim, if you were previously denied, it's been within a year, those will factor in when the rater determines your effective date. But you need to know that. So, if they assign the incorrect effective date, you know what to argue on that high level review if you so choose to do an appeal. Okay. Then it goes on to say VA will review all claims from impacted veterans and survivors who previously filed and were denied for these three conditions on or after August 10th, 2022, because we know that's the date that the law changed. Okay. Now, they are not saying, oh, if you have one of these cancers, we're going to backdate you automatically to August 10th, 2022. It does not work like that. They said May. And I've already given you some factors that, depending on what you did, if you were previously denied, how far they could go back. Okay. So, for example, if you filed for, let's say, male breast cancer on August 11th, 2022. Okay. So, obviously, you had a year to appeal. All right. Let's say you didn't do it. You didn't do the appeal, the high level review. And now they added it to this list. But let's just say you did an intent to file and you 6 months ago, and you come in now and file a claim. Well, possibly could be that effective date. Since it's been more than a year and you're doing a supplemental claim, they might only go back to the intent to file. Now, again, every claim is different. Veterans submitted things at the different times. Other veterans have continuously pursued their claim. So there will be several factors when it comes to determining the effective date. Okay. Now, I told you I had some other information for you. It was a link in the other slide that I showed you. Okay, so it says Gulf War Service. For VA benefit purposes, Gulf War Service is active military duty in any of the following areas in the Southwest Asia Theater of Military Operations. And they even put that in bold for you. At any time, August 2nd, 1990 to present. Okay. This includes veterans who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation New Dawn. Okay. So here are the regulations. I'm not regulations. Here are the locations: Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the neutral zone between Iraq and Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE, Oman, Afghanistan, Israel, Egypt, Turkey, Syria, Jordan, Gulf of Eden, Gulf of Oman, waters of the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Sea, and the Red Sea, the airspace above all these locations. So that includes what? Helicopter pilots and fighter pilots that maybe didn't have boots on ground in these areas and maybe flew in from another country. Okay. So the VA, again, they're doing a really good job of updating this information on this website. So I know people are going to ask, Dwayne, well, I didn't serve in any one of those locations. Well, you don't qualify. That is what they're telling you. We can't take a circle and put it in a square. Okay. Keep that in mind. Now, what is the number one thing that I think, as a former VA rater, veterans should do as it pertains to presumptive conditions? Not just the three that I showed you the VA added, but any presumptive condition. The number one thing that you can do is get that diagnosis. Because once you have that diagnosis and you meet the location and the time frames that I just shared with you, that should be a lock for service connection. Okay. So, of course, you can do the intent to file. That gives you time to get the diagnosis. You already have your DD-214 and any other additional information showing that, let's say, for instance, you in Iraq or Saudi during that time frame. You submit it. Now you just have to pick your personal statement. Okay. So diagnosis is the number one thing that veterans need before submitting that claim. Of course, again, they have to confirm that you're in their location and during that particular time frame. All right. So I hope you found this video beneficial. If so, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.